Hello, good afternoon, and welcome back. Welcome back to the channel for another episode of the RDA podcast. Delighted to have you with us. This is your Leicester City versus Manchester United preview, and I must say, it does come down to this. You know, if you're a Manchester United fan, we do deserve top four because of what we've done, and our result tomorrow, as well as our performance, will be the determining factor if that statement still rings true 24 hours from now. However, if you're a Leicester City fan, you'll be feeling hard done by. You feel like you've been done dirty, not just with the injuries, but with the massive drop off, the coronavirus crisis, you know, just everything going against Leicester City. They're not getting penalties, they're not getting free kicks, they're not getting decisions. But anyways, we're here to discuss that. And if you are as excited as I am, please do smash that like button. And if you are new, don't forget to subscribe. It's free. I don't know why 60% of you are not subscribed. It's free. But anyways, gentlemen, how are you doing? How are you feeling on the Saturday
I
afternoon?
am feeling very excited, but very nervous at the same time. Because this game, oh my goodness.
It's the Champions League final.
We've got a situation here in our hands, boys. And yeah, I would be lying if I said I wasn't shitting myself for tomorrow.
What do you actually? We'll talk a bit about Leicester City, but from a United perspective, what are you afraid of? You still think we have a mentality issue?
I'm just afraid that that the boys the pressure might get to them, and I'm afraid that anything can happen in this game. Even if we played well, we could hit crossbars the whole day. Leicester could get a cheap goal somewhere. Anything can happen. It could be a dodgy call or something.
Yeah,
so
anything can happen. It's 90 minutes of football, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rita, what is your? I'll ask you about your assessment of Leicester later on in the show. But from a United point of view, what are you feeling at the moment in terms of confidence levels and just general emotions now that we're 24 hours away or less?
Yeah, it's very nerve-wracking. But when I look at the teams for face value, I am confident that we should beat Leicester. But it's just the magnitude of the game that's a bit not worrying, but that is nerve-wracking. Because if we lose this game and let's say Chelsea win, we're not going to make top four. And the longer the game goes on, let's say it's 0-0, you just never know.
Then Chelsea bang a cracker in against Wolves.
Yeah, that'll be heartbreaking. We've seen with this team a lot that when they're there, when it's there for the taking, when it's there for them to do it, they stumble and they bottle it.
Yeah.
And we don't want the reputation, so it's nerve-wracking. It's the biggest game of the season. Maybe not do or die yet because you have the Europa League, but this will be our easiest route to the Champions League, and we should definitely take it.
Well, look, I personally choose to disagree with this whole mentality thing. I know this team does have a mentality issue, and I'm not saying they don't, but we are in third. It's the first time we've been in third all season long, and I just have to say that, everybody keeps saying this team bottles it. Should we have won against West Ham? Yeah, we probably should have, but it's in the past now, and we didn't lose. The reason, and not losing and getting the draw to some people is it's the same thing, but I would say that it's not. If we didn't draw, we wouldn't be in third. We'd have to beat Leicester tomorrow. And thanks to that result, we don't. Leicester have to come and beat us, and that might be an advantage. But just a quick question. What do you guys think of Manchester United's recent drop in form, even though it's only been like 3 games? Because up until Southampton, we were playing well. Do you think it's a fitness thing? Because there's a lot of arguments going on Twitter now, whether or not it's a fitness thing, whether it's a mentality thing, whether it's just that our form has just run out. What do you think it is? Because 17 out of our last 21 games have genuinely been good since Bruno came here. And then all of a sudden, we started to struggle.
I think it's a bit of everything. I think it's a bit of fatigue, fitness, a bit of the mentality dropping, a bit of maybe a change of tactics here and there, like the back five could have disrupted things, So I think it's a bit of everything. Yeah. But, like I said, everything that happened in the past has happened in the past, boys. And, Sunday, please get the result. And that Sunday is all that matters to me at the moment. Sunday is all that matters to me.
I don't want to hear we lost on Sunday because we played an extra 90 minutes against Chelsea in the FA Cup. That excuse is unacceptable for me. I'm sorry. That excuse is unacceptable for me. If you can't rest your best players against Aston Villa, why rest them in the semi-final against Chelsea? I'm sorry. That excuse is not going to fly for me. It's 90 minutes of football. It's 90 minutes. It's not a marathon.
They have to be up for it.
Yeah, it's 90 minutes of football. It's your last 90 minutes of the season, actually.
Yeah. Because if we play well, we get Champions League now. Oli can rest anyone he wants, and the team can play whoever he wants in Europa League.
Yeah.
But if we don't
Well,
get it, now all of a sudden we have to take Europa League very, very seriously. And we know that's just, again, it's just, we just get the job done on
it's not
Sunday.
going to be the same. Even if we do win the Europa League and get Champions League that way, it won't be the same. It will be like, again, we had to make things hard for ourselves. So I don't
Exactly.
think we want to go down that road, even though
Exactly.
we'd probably win the Europa League piss easy.
It's very symbolic. I want to go back slightly. Before I answer your question, I want to go back to the whole bottling thing. Not just the season. We've been doing it for some time. Bar Mourinho's second season. We've
been doing it for 7 years. We've been doing it for
almost
7 years.
been there, but we can't do it. Since from Van Gaal, when we lost, I think we lost or drew to West Ham in the last game. And definitely. It's first season. So we just need to get over that, and it needs to be symbolic. And people can start, and not about other people, but they can start taking us seriously and saying, we're moving forward, we're doing something, there's direction at our club. In terms of our last few results, I think it's a bit of fitness and a mentality thing. Fitness because they've been playing a lot of games, so it makes sense. But I feel like these players don't know how to see out good games, and they need to learn that. So, yeah.
Look, I think for me, there's more than enough evidence over the last 21 games that if Manchester United play their strongest team and at least 6 out of the 11 individuals on the field have a good game, I think we'll beat Leicester. I do. I honestly do, because I understand where people are coming from with this mentality issue stuff. But this is the best run we've been in a very long time. So if it's not now, you almost have to assume it's going to be never, you know? And I think it's interesting now because before lockdown, we were sat here saying, if teams press us, we can hit them on the break. But if teams sit back, that's a problem. After lockdown, if teams sit back, that's not a problem. But when they press us up high, well, the one team that did it well, then it becomes a problem. Over the last 3 games, it seems to be a bit of both. There seems to be an inability from Manchester United to change their system within a game. Like, once we've decided what we're going to do in a game, that seems to be it. And I think that's been the problem over the last 7 years that people ignore. Jose Mourinho and Van Gaal are very defensive managers. When they need to make top 4, they're the kind of manager who won't say, go for the game. They're the kind of manager who says, guys, we've got top 4. Let's make sure it's 0-0 at halftime and then go for it in the last 20 minutes. And I hope Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't do that tomorrow because Leicester City are playing with nothing to lose. They have to win. There's no other choice for them. So they're going to have to go for it if they're serious about making top 4. And I hope Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't do the classic Mourinho nonsense of trying to game manage the game, because you just never know. When you try game manage a game and you go 1-0 down to a crap penalty decision, or, you know, God forbid, Maguire gets nutmegged and De Gea does his thing at the near post, and we're 1-0 down now, what does Ole say then? You know? And that's the risk with game managing.
I think he will take it seriously, but it might not be reflected in the way we play, because I think he's going to look at Leicester and say they have nothing to lose. Leicester are going to attack. And he's going to try to beat them the exact same way we beat them at Old Trafford. They're going to come at us and throw everything and press high. We're going to try to sit back and do what we do best and counter them. Yeah,
I'm fine with that as long as we actually attack.
Yeah.
We don't sit here and try to hold the ball. We don't play a back 5 and just defend for 70 minutes. I don't want to see that tomorrow because it will remind me so much of Mourinho. You know, like the pessimistic, pragmatic approach, it makes sense on paper, but you cannot game manage a game like this. It's 90 minutes. Form goes out the window and anything can happen. You know, you go 2-0 down. What happens with your back 5 then? Now you've got to go chase the game and Leicester can just sit back, you know. So
impact the window.
Yeah, so I think, but look, I think there's a different air. There's a different feeling in the air over the last 7 years. This is different. And the reason why I think this is different, as a person who's criticized Manchester United and has been probably one of the most negative Manchester United fans since Fergie left, I am finally becoming a positive Manchester United fan because I feel like I have enough evidence to back this team. At the end of the day, we haven't gone on a run where we've won so many games like this since Sir Alex Ferguson has left. It's actually been our best run. We've never been in third before the last day of the season, if I'm not mistaken, since Sir Alex Ferguson left.
Well, Mourinho finished second, so...
Yeah, no, Mourinho finished second, but I'm talking about the situations where we bottled it. Like, we've never been in a situation where we were already in top 4 and we lost the game and that pushed us out the top 4. Like, people are comparing this season with the last few years, but what they're not understanding is this team was never getting third. This team was never getting third before Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes came in and we went on a 20-game unbeaten run just to give ourselves an outside chance of finishing third. And not only did that happen, but because Leicester and Chelsea have been crap at times this season, we got lucky and we ended up in third. Like, we are in third. So this is different. This is very different. And all I'll say is I think the odds are in our favour here. What is your assessment of Leicester City, how they play, and the injury crisis they're going through at the moment, and how that's going to affect what they might try to do in this game?
Well, yeah, obviously, Leicester doesn't have all their star players, but they still got that man there on the screen, Mr. Jamie Vardy, chasing the Golden Boot. And I think the way Leicester play, they're very nice.
They're going to try to play on the counter.
They can play on the counter. They can play on the counter, even if they have position. Usually they can. I think they're not so good with it now because obviously they're missing key players like Madison and other midfielders. And obviously Soyuncu, I don't know. I don't know if Soyuncu's playing because he might still be suspended. But there are injuries. Yeah. But yeah. Jose Perez he can always be a threat. He's not the best of players, but he does cause a threat. And obviously, like I said, Jamie Vardy, he's the top goal scorer in the Premier League for a reason. And, he loves scoring goals against Man United. And he'll definitely be looking to do something, especially for that Golden Boot race.
Yeah.
Like, they never set up to play on the counter. It's not like under Ranieri when they won the title where it was just one long ball and Vardy was there. They play counter when they have the opportunity to, because Vardy is so quick. But nowadays, they prefer to hold the ball and play very expansive football, which plays a part in their downfall because they just don't know how to adjust when the situation doesn't meet playing that type of football. When they have injuries, when there's been a lockdown for however so long, and they don't have the players to make it click like it was clicking, or Madison's out of form. So, yeah, they're going to try and come at us. They're going to try play very expensive football, and if we play to our strengths, we should be fine. But they have dangerous players. Madison's off form, but he's a big game player. He can make something happen. They got Vardy, who's top goal scorer, so it won't be easy.
Yeah, and just talking about that, actually, I think one of the things Manchester United have done right, and everybody's sleeping on once again, is our fitness levels have peaked quite, I don't know what the word is, but our prime fitness levels since the return of lockdown came at the right time. Like, we went on the right run at the right time, considering, like, in hindsight. Whereas other teams like Sheffield United only started to pick up fitness and form too late. You know what I mean? Like, Sheffield United are actually playing properly since the Chelsea game, but it's too late. Yeah. United somehow found a way to start training at the right time so that they weren't tired when the season started, but they also weren't too unfit when the season started. And I think fitness might play a big part in tomorrow's game, but again, it's 90 minutes. There's a crazy kid outside my door.
Remember, he was raving about Southampton, how they're the fittest team in the league.
Yeah. It's crazy. I'm just looking at Leicester's results now. They beat Sheffield United 2-0. They lost to Spurs 3-0. And then they lost to Bournemouth 4-1 somehow. And they got a red card. They drew to Arsenal 1-1, and Arsenal got a red card in that game. And then they beat Palace 3-0. But they lost to Everton 2-1, and they lost to Chelsea as well. So it's not looking good for Leicester in terms of form.
No, yeah, in terms of form.
If that comes down to a fitness thing or not. So
let's just say Brendan Rodgers took the, what's his name again? The guy who used to manage Newcastle, Benitez approach, and decided, like, gents, let's just stay in the game, and in the last few minutes we'll attack. If that happened, I'd be very, very nervous, because I don't want us to be in a situation where it's 0-0 around the 70th minute.
I don't think that will happen, because Manchester United haven't been in that situation since the return of lockdown. Like, Manchester United won't just sit back and hold the ball. We will unlock Leicester's defense. Like, this might sound arrogant to some of you, but I think we will score at least one goal against Leicester. We haven't not scored in a game. Even when we got battered by Chelsea at Wembley, we still scored. Yeah. So United are gonna score a goal. I'm not worried about that. And all I would say about that is it's going to be very nerve-wracking in that last 10 minutes. But if I was Leicester, I wouldn't do that. You're back four at the moment without Chilwell and with all the players you're missing against one of the best front threes in the league. I wouldn't take that approach. That's a very premature approach, because you're basically letting the team that has a far better defense, far better attack than Bournemouth, and Bournemouth beat you 4-1. Bournemouth beat you 4-1, by the way. So you're going to let us come at you. I don't think that's wise from Leicester. I honestly don't.
I think on paper and in terms of how the two teams play, I feel like, forget the magnitude, I feel like we win this game 9 times out of 10, to be honest.
We do, and the thing is that what people don't understand about Manchester United is we haven't lost to teams we shouldn't be losing to since the return of lockdown, except Chelsea. But even then, you could make a case that we should have lost to them because we played a back five. But we haven't really lost the game. So I'm not too worried if Leicester sit back and wait till the last 10 minutes, unless it's normal. But I don't see that happening, because
Not that
I
nature.
just don't see MUFC taking that long to score a goal. And also, when I look at the amount of goals that Leicester have conceded, they're actually pretty close to us. Actually, their defense is pretty good, judging by their goal difference. So I don't know. It could be interesting, but that's with their best players. They're missing so many people at the back now. If they play Wes Morgan against Martial, Rashford, and Greenwood, come on.
Please,
Yeah,
give
come
me
on.
this Morgan.
Come on, dude. So it's going to be an interesting game no matter what happens. All I would say is Manchester United, before lockdown, we said they couldn't beat teams that they should be beating. Manchester United, after lockdown, have beat all the teams that they should be beating except Chelsea. So I've got no problems with trusting my team in that regard. It's going to be very interesting. Plus, it's not that easy. You can't just wave a magic wand and play a way you've never played before and hope it works, you know. You're just relying on dumb luck at that point. Like, Brendan Rodgers is not a tactical genius. Otherwise, he would have won the league with Liverpool. And that was a far better team than Leicester. So, I don't know. What are you saying about the... Yeah?
No, I'm just saying it's gonna be very tough and stressful. You know, it's just 90 minutes. Like, you know, I seen a comment the other day.
Yeah.
You know, it said that, you know, we work so hard to watch these guys play. It's 90 minutes. Come on, boys. And I was like, yeah, you know, that's
because just before we get to the predicted XI, like, I've heard people arguing on Twitter, going on and on and on and on about Harry Maguire doesn't rest, this player doesn't rest, so-and-so doesn't rest, so-and-so doesn't rest. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer plays the strongest team against Villa. He's definitely not going to drop or rest anyone against Leicester. This, that, and the other. And I'm just like, mate, first of all, if Harry Maguire rests, the drop-off is massive. If Rashford rests, the drop-off is massive. If Martial rests, the drop-off is massive. If Bruno, Pogba, Matic rests, the drop-off is massive. So on the one hand, I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should have rested his players in any game. But if there was games where he could have rested them, those games have passed now for me. The jury's out. Like, he has to play strongest team now. Like, it's too late. Even against West Ham, I said it's too late. So for me, all this nonsense about the team, you know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer put himself in the situation. He chose to play Maguire throughout the season. He chose to play Pogba and then Pogba got injured. He chose to play Matic and Matic got injured. He chose to run Rashford into the ground. He chose to play McTominay and McTominay also got injured. It's his fault. You can't turn a self-made situation into a mistake or an error or an excuse, you know? It's not an excuse. An excuse is something that excuses you because of the circumstances. These circumstances are not unfortunate circumstances in any way. These circumstances are a result of a manager who deliberately chose to play a strong team in games where he didn't need to, and he's paying the price. And I'm not having that excuse. It's 90 fucking minutes. Come on, United. It's 90 minutes. We're not asking you to go and win the bloody treble. It's just 90 minutes. Just be up for it.
Yeah.
Like, it can't be that hard.
Isn't it impressive how good our centre-back fitness has been? Our two main centre-backs.
Look, I don't think the fitness has been that bad, but considering how long they've played, but considering how long they've played, yeah, it's pretty impressive that Lindelof hasn't gotten a massive injury yet. Like, that's in that regard.
The thought of one of them getting injured is a bit scary.
It is. But like I said, that's not something we should be proud about. Like, that the whole record of Harry Maguire being the player who's played the longest amount of time. I think he broke some record. He's played the most amount of time in a season than any other United centre-back. That's not something to be proud about. That's not a sign of how good your fitness is. That's a sign of how bad your squad depth is. That you actually have to risk running a player into the ground because you have nothing better. Like, I don't know if you heard, but Harry Maguire has supposedly been playing with a hip injury and he's been taking painkillers before United games to subside. And some people are saying it's not a hip injury because if it was an actual injury, he wouldn't be able to play. Some people are saying it is a hip injury. All I'm saying is he's in pain and he shouldn't be playing the full 90 minutes of every game. And that's not something we should be proud about, you know? Like, for me, that's just a red flag. And you're right. If Lindelof gets injured or Maguire gets injured, it's finished. Those clean sheets are gone.
Jones
can't even play, Baba, because he's injured. Jones got injured during lockdown.
Yeah.
You don't know. Jones got injured during training in lockdown, Baba. Tonzevi got injured in training during lockdown when he was supposed to be coming back. He just came back from an injury, by the way.
It's a shame for Phil Jones, but
Yeah.
the management had so much hope.
It's just yeah, I don't know. But anyways, let's check out the predicted SI then. It can't be that hard. And also,
not
I would
hard.
also say, for all the people who said De Gea should have been dropped against West Ham, I forgot to say this in the last preview. Romero nearly cost us against Norwich. He should have saved that shot. Remember the goal that Norwich scored in the FA Cup? So for all the people who say Romero doesn't make mistakes, he does. He makes mistakes against the worst team in the league. And I'm not saying Romero wouldn't have been good against West Ham. We'll just never know. I'm not going to be that kind of fan. But De Gea played well enough against West Ham and kept us in the game. And it wasn't his fault. The penalty wasn't his fault. And I just think we need to put the individualism on players. I saw a tweet the other day from Mark Obridge saying something about Pogba and the unfair whatchamacallit? Criticism, yeah, that he gets. And I was like, yeah, like, are we seriously going to become that club that blames one player after every result? Like, are we seriously going to be that club? Every single game. Oh, Maguire's crap. 80 million. Next game. Pogba's crap. 90 million from freaking France, but he can't fucking keep his hands down. Then next thing, Greenwood will make a mistake. Greenwood's crap. He's not going to be the best player in the world. What kind of best player in the world puts his hands up? Like, we need to stop that as United fans. There's nothing wrong with criticizing a player's performance, but I think with us it becomes corrosive and toxic nowadays with certain people in our fan base, because some men seriously think that the reason why Manchester United haven't made top four is because of individual errors. It's not. It's because we haven't been good enough for 6 months. That game against Burnley, you want to know why we lost? We didn't lose because of an individual error at Old Trafford. We lost because we had crap tactics and we can't break down teams on the low block. And Lingard was playing in the 10 and Pereira was playing in the 10. You cannot seriously tell me that if a team beats you 1-0, the reason why you lost is because of an individual error. No, it's because you didn't create enough chances, Chief. If you lose 5-3, then yeah, okay, individual errors, because clearly you scored 3 goals and you did your bit, you know. Like, we need to stop this mentality of going in on players, because it's corrosive, especially foreign players, like foreign in relation to if you live in the UK.
Non-English, non-English.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I think it's disgusting, and I think it's boring. Honestly, I think it's boring. David De Gea made this club relevant, and we're gonna write him off after one bad season. He made this club relevant, and he's not even an outfield player, and we're going to write him off after one season. Is that what we do to people who are future club legends? We just turn our back on them because of one bad season. So if Aaron Wan-Bissaka doesn't have the season he had this season, next season, are we going to call him a flop then? Even though he was one of the most amazing left backs we've seen right backs we've seen in a long time. Like, it's unbelievable. Are we seriously going to call Harry Maguire a flop after 9 months? Like, is that the club we are? Are we going to call Luke Shaw a flop again when he gets injured and he has to work his way back into the form? You know, like, are we going to call Matic a flop now because he played badly against West Ham, according to some people? Are we going to call Bruno a flop now because he's had a dip in form? Even though he warned us about this. He said it in a press conference. He said people are going to start criticizing me when I drop in form because, you know, when everything's going well, everybody's super positive.
No, yeah, like, Bruno knows.
We need to stop this. Yeah. We need to stop this. This is why I was so annoyed when, like, I don't have a problem with people saying De Gea should be dropped, but it feels like with United, every time something happens, we always try to find a scapegoat and we forget about the bigger picture and why Manchester United are as crap as they are. Like, we seem to forget, and you can only blame the players so much. Like, it has to stop, or at least has to get spread around the whole team, because I don't see people going in on Rashford as much, you know, as Pogba.
I don't want to keep defending this whole De Gea agenda. And on the bigger picture, yes, definitely, we can't keep doing that. And the club is the problem. But when players are off form, they get dropped. Especially so when you have 2 big games where it's do or die for you. So that's the only argument I was making with De Gea, because I felt like if his mental state is not completely on it, he might cost us against West Ham and Leicester. I did not want that.
Yes, I'm okay with that. Like, to make myself clear, I'm okay with that. Like, I was not attacking you. I was attacking the not few actually, the large numbers of corrosive and toxic people we have in our fan base who are extremely reactionary. Some people's opinions of De Gea aren't well thought out. They really aren't. He makes a couple of mistakes against Chelsea. All of a sudden, people want his head on a stick, but they weren't there against Everton. You know, it's not consistent. You've been saying this about David De Gea for a long time. I've known you for a long time as a friend, and as a United fan, you've always said that De Gea's flaw is he's great at the acrobatic stuff, but he makes mistakes. And even though in the last 3 seasons he's been amazing, this season, those things are creeping back in. And I've got no problem with that because that's well thought out. That's someone with brain cells who actually formulated an opinion based on the long-term performance of a player. Some people are just too reactionary, you know. When Pogba plays well, they go quiet. And then they wait for Pogba to play badly to be like, look, I told you so, I told you so. And it's childish. It's really childish.
You can't rule out the player who's been your best player for the last decade.
Yeah, it's really childish. Like, and all the Henderson nonsense. Like, wow, Henderson had one good season. I tell you what, in three seasons from now, Henderson's going to have a bad season just like De Gea, and watch how people turn on him. Watch how people want his head on his stick, because Henderson's not going to be perfect. Do we seriously live in a world where a young player has one good season and we think he's just going to be perfect for the rest of his career, and he's not going to have one bad season? So it's ridiculous. People act like De Gea has been costing us Champions League football for the last 7 years, when it's really been a few games, if we're being honest, if we're being completely honest. Because against Everton, we shouldn't need one goal to win the game. We should be scoring more goals. Like, you could even make that argument. Like, it's ridiculous, I feel. You don't hear Liverpool going in on Alisson because he makes a mistake, because Liverpool score goals. Oh, you let one in? No biggie, we'll score 4. Big club mentality. And I just feel like it's corrosive, but yeah. Do you think Shaw will be fit for the game against Leicester?
If I'll take 60% fit Luke Shaw tomorrow, to be honest.
I feel like if Luke Shaw doesn't play, it's a yikes.
It's a hole. That's what I'll say. It's a hole. I think that's
Vardy's gonna be a bloodhound down that right hand side.
Yeah, because you'll look at Williams and you look at Maguire. Vardy will know Maguire inside out. Obviously, you probably trained against Maguire countless times at Leicester. So yeah, I just really hope Luke Shaw is back. I noticed when Luke Shaw plays, he's such a good outlet for Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford is a better player when he has a left back who knows what he's doing behind him. So he might help us get a goal as well and create some pressure. He'll create something. Yeah, he'll create something because he does. It's just unfortunate he hasn't got an assist on paper to prove it, but he does create it.
Yeah, and then you get the football fans who just look at the assist alone and say he's not good enough offensively.
I'd also say so kind of helps Matic also a lot.
Yeah, I was about to say that in the game where people said Matic played well against played horribly against West Ham, I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, he took maybe a few touches too many, but where was he supposed to pass the ball? Was he supposed to keep giving it away like Bruno and Pogba? I think Matic was looking for someone to play diagonal balls like he always does over the top, and unfortunately, Fosu-Mensah and Williams only picked up on the runs like 3 or 4 times in that game. Besides that, there was no one. Because if you've noticed, when Matic gets involved in an attack, I mean, go look at the famous clip against Brighton where Bruno scored the volley. Matic played a diagonal ball across the field, if I'm not mistaken, into space. Like, someone has to be overlapping on the run, otherwise Matic's not going to pass it. Like, what's the point of Matic moving the ball quickly to Pogba if Pogba's just going to blast it forward and make the most predictable 1-2 run over and over? It's not going to work. Like, sometimes people, people are too reactionary with their thinking. They don't, like, take a step back from the situation and go, hang on, why was Matic playing like this? You know,
especially
do you seriously think Matic didn't have the intelligence to lay the ball off?
Like, dictate what's happening right now.
Yeah, like, do you really think the ex-Premier League winner, one of the best DMs in the world in his prime, do you really think he would have taken that many touches if he didn't feel it was necessary? Come on, people. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Because the amount of times Bruno and Pogba lost the ball in that game, but people want to go in on Matic for actually trying to be smart and look for the right pass. It's weird. Again, agendas. It's weird. Maybe that's not really an agenda. Some people genuinely just didn't know, because that's how football is. You can't focus on every play on the pitch. So it's not always an agenda, but I'm just saying. Yeah.
But I'd be very satisfied with this team. I think we definitely need Luke Shaw. And yeah, no complaints really. If we play
Wan-Bissaka out, Fosu-Mensah has been better. Yeah.
Sounds like in minds. And I think we've seen over the last few days or week or so how important Luke Shaw is to us.
Luke Shaw is very important, but honestly, jokes aside, I wouldn't be too opposed to Fosu-Mensah starting, because Aaron Wan-Bissaka has been dodgy since the restart. I'm being real. Like, I'm not even trolling. I think Fosu-Mensah has played well. You thought he was great in the what?
Second half against West Ham.
Yeah, he was very good second half.
Who, Fosu-Mensah?
No,
Wan-Bissaka when he came on.
Oh, when he came on, yeah. But like, my problem with Aaron Wan-Bissaka is it seems like he can't keep that for 90 minutes since the lockdown has come back. with Fosu-Mensah, what I saw against Palace wasn't a replica of Wan-Bissaka or someone who's better than Wan-Bissaka. When Wan-Bissaka comes on for Fosu-Mensah, he's obviously going to be better because he's a better footballer. But over the course of 90 minutes, I would rather have a committed Fosu-Mensah who hasn't played in a year and has all that energy than a tired Wan-Bissaka, because the tired Wan-Bissaka could cost us a goal, genuinely, against Crystal Palace when Zaha or Townsend came down that left-hand side and that dodgy offside decision got given. If that wasn't an offside and Crystal Palace score that goal, the complexion of the game changes, and it's all Wan-Bissaka's fault because he lost the ball in transition and he just wasn't switched on, and he couldn't even run he couldn't even backtrack quick enough. And it's not just that, there's been countless games.
Play against them, and it makes sense because they play so long with each other.
Yeah, true, but it wasn't just that game. I'm just struggling to recall everything because my brain's it's not a super machine. Like, I genuinely think Wan-Bissaka has been poor for his standards since the return of the Premier League, and I don't think anyone would disagree with me. So I would look, if Fosu-Mensah played, I wouldn't
be mad.
Throw my remote at the TV.
Yeah,
like,
I wouldn't be mad.
I would be like, okay, let's hope he doesn't cost us a goal. If Wan-Bissaka starts, I'll be like, okay, personally, I would have preferred someone who's not tired. But whatever. Let's see what Wan-Bissaka can do. I trust him, but I think he's been dodgy. I think he's been so dodgy. Like, hopefully he's not dodgy tomorrow if he does play. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I definitely.
Yeah, and then front three, you know what it is. We can't really. There's nothing else to say.
I said it on yesterday's show. If De Gea has his day, if everyone on this pitch has their day, what we know they can do, we win that game easy, no problems. Because Martial on his day, Rashford on his day, Greenwood, Bruno, Matic, Pogba, this whole defense, De Gea, world class. No one beats us.
I tell you what, I think if Martial, Pogba, and Bruno and Matic have a good game, we win. Genuinely.
Yeah. I think if those midfielders and one of the attackers will win the game.
And then obviously Maguire just mustn't get nutmegged on the near post. I genuinely think if four of our attackers play well and one of our defenders play well, we Gucci. Preferably the centre backs, because that's more important than the wing sides. But I'm not feisty about that. If Luke Shaw plays well, I back us to win, assuming he does start. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything else to talk about, man, for score predictions.
Oh. I don't know.
I don't know. Oh. Okay, I'll make life easier for you. I'll go with 3-1 United.
I was gonna say I would say 3-1 United also if everyone performs. But I think even if everyone doesn't perform, I think we'll still get it. So 2-1 United.
Look, I think Leicester are a decent team, but I think
Leicester will score.
This is a game that suits our playing style. And I feel like it's going to be easy for our players to express themselves because they're not going to have to be holding the ball for too long. They're going to be playing a lot on the counter in this game. And with Pogba's long balls and that front three space, I can see us really troubling Leicester's defense. So
yeah, we can really trouble them.
Yeah. I'm gonna go for a 3-1 win.
Yeah, come on, United, win tomorrow, please.
Yeah, I'm very confident tomorrow. I'm nervous as fuck, but I'm also confident because I'm excited. This is what football's about, and look, I won't be watching the Wolves and Chelsea game on the side. Like, I don't care. Chelsea can beat Wolves 6-0. I want United to do well tomorrow, regardless.
I want to pin my phone. I'm there.
Nah. If we lose to Leicester, if we get battered by Leicester 3-0 and Chelsea also lose, and that's the only reason we make top four, it won't feel the same. I'll celebrate it, but I'll be like, nah, I don't trust this team. Like, you had one job and you lost 3-0 to a team that's in such bad form. Nah. Like, for me, that would be a huge red flag. I'll celebrate it because I'll take top four, even if it means losing 3-0 and getting a favour from Wolves, one of the teams I at least like. But I don't think. For me, this game is a test. This game is a test. It's a test. It's an exam. And in order for United to pass this exam, I'm not asking for all 11 players to play well. I'm asking for 4 attackers and 1 defender to have a very good game or a decent enough game to create enough chances for us to score.
Yeah, we need at least like 4 or 5 sevens in the match preview, at least.
Yeah, Martial needs to go to the bathroom before the game and pee out some of the ice in his veins so that he's not too cool when that 1-on-1 comes. And he needs to smack it in. And then I need to be sitting there with a grin on my face at halftime with that 1-0 score. And I'm going to be like, yes.
Yeah, United, and I think that's a very important thing also. I want United to score first.
Yeah, if we score first in the first half and then we sit back for the second half, no problems. Like, I'm not even going to complain. And we win, obviously. And we're third at the end. I'm not complaining. I've got my jokes lined up, the bent on Twitter. Oh, it's gonna be so amazing if we win. But if we lose, Monday's cancelled, boys.
Oh,
2020, the rest of 2020 is cancelled, boys. The show it's going on.
I don't know.
It's going offline.
Like, as a fan, I don't know how I'll mentally recover. I don't know how that team will recover, but I'm not going to think about that. United will get the job done. I'm not going to regret saying this.
The only thing that can make a loss in this game better is Chelsea losing. And even then, I'll be done with this team because you have one job.
If Chelsea are getting bad to the winning 1-0 in the 80th minute, we should let Leicester score.
No. I'm not playing no games.
This game is a test.
Win that game on Sunday.
If you have a 1-0 lead
coach,
and Harry Maguire concedes,
you win that game on Sunday, boys. You fucking.
If Harry Maguire bloody concedes because he gets nutmegged or because he was marking Aaron Wan-Bissaka instead of the enemy, I'm going to be bloody fuming in this game because it's one job. You just have to play
one game.
Yeah, it's 90 minutes. Just focus for 90 minutes. That's all we're asking. Forget all the bad games this season. This is the final. This is the only game that matters. Just play well for 90. Actually, you don't even have to play well. Screw playing well. Just don't get nutmegged for 90 minutes.
Just win it. Just win.
Please, just don't get nutmegged. It's not that easy. It's not that hard. Like, yeah, you managed to draw against Spurs. You managed to draw against adversity against Southampton. You came back from 2-1 down against Southampton. Please, can we not bottle this game? Even if it's a draw, I will take a draw because we'll still make top 4. But a loss, nah, China. A loss for me is where I draw the line, fam. Because that to me shows me that this team can't get up for one game. After all you've fucking been through, after all
United's future.
It's like, listen, it's like this, yeah. I don't know if you've ever played the game Horizon Zero Dawn, but if you haven't, basically there's this part in the storyline where the main character has to go to this thing called the Proving. Basically what happens is they have to race in like one of the most treacherous conditions ever. Like they have to race, like they physically have to get through a bunch of obstacles, and the person who comes out on the other side first wins the Proving. And they have to jump, and they have to do like hiking, and they have to jump from mountain to mountain. What United have done is basically United broke their ankle at the beginning of the race and went all the way to dead last. They got it strapped up. They got a shin split, just like, David Goggins. They got it strapped up and they started running. And through sheer adversity and brilliance, they managed to get themselves within third. And all they have to do is push for one more mile, just the last mile. Forget everything that's happened in the bloody race. Forget when you slipped off the rock, and it should have been an easy jump, but you missed it. You've done everything to put yourself in a position to actually possibly win the race, or at least get third. On the last mile of the race, all you have to do is push for one more mile. If you can do it for the 90 other miles, however long the race is, surely you can do it for one more mile. That's all I'm asking for. If you can win 17 games, what's one game? Please. It's just one game. I'm not asking you to go unbeaten for the next 6 years. So for me, there's just no excuses tomorrow. And it's funny because when we did our first...
There's nowhere to hide.
Yeah, there's nowhere to hide. There's no excuses. If you're going to hide behind fitness, that's your fault, Ollie, because you played them. So how can you complain about something you did? Yep. Before the preview, the preview before the end of lockdown, sorry, I can't speak all of a sudden. I clearly said that for me, there is no excuses to why Manchester United cannot make top 4. And I maintain that. On the last day of the season, there is no excuses. We are in third. Like, we're in. It's like in an F1 race. You're in third. You're not trying to get... You're in third. Just bring the car home. Yeah, just don't crash. Just don't crash. Your pit stop is done. Your pit strategy worked out. A few drivers crashed on the way. And you went
this
past
game
them.
Gets us Jadon Sancho. Yeah. This game gets Pogba to sign a new deal. This game shapes everything.
You climbed your way up in a crappy car and you got to third. And all you have to do is bring the car home in the last lap. You have like a millisecond gap on the car behind you. But it's okay. All you have to do is just shield him off at every corner. And just finish the last lap. Am I clear? Am I making myself clear? United cannot bottle this game, no matter what. Even if Chelsea lose, I'll be very upset if we lose this game because it's a test. But yeah.
Yes, the first test was Southampton for me and they failed. This is the final. This is final examination. With passing.
Final exam. No, Southampton was an assignment, but Southampton was an assignment. It only counts 5% for the year. You know, we're still in third anyways. It only counts 5%. This is like the final exam, paper 2. This is where you prove. But anyways, if you enjoyed that, do leave a like on the video. Please do subscribe. It's free. All you have to do is just link your Gmail account to your YouTube. You lazy bastard. Just subscribe, please. Now. Do it now. Otherwise.
Watch my corner.
Yeah, and watch Ronnie's COD, I guess. That works. Peace out.